It's a trap, you walk right into the hate. All over a new king that's face is just replaced. It's all the same, you still be ruled by force. And no matter who it is, they'll still carry on the torch. Just a lie, cheat, steal, half of what you make. Taxation is theft, it's time to vacate the state. Newsflash, all your cash is an IOU. From killers who really do steal from you. Inflation is a weapon used by every nation who says that they're saving the world through lies. That they disguise and pass off as bravery. Well, I got news, debt is slavery. It don't matter who's madder, a new master don't matter. When they both want the same, the state don't play no games. They got you trying to survive and put you on sides and ready to kill each other. That's conquer and divide. It's all for show or for hyper control.
That's fucking Quickie Solo Boy. Welcome back, everybody, to the quick update from the Bonesandtubs podcast with Just Bones. We did not post our inauguration episode because I could not physically edit it without getting physically sick. I would say it's entirely too much. Tubbs and myself have talked recently about only doing, maybe not only doing, but exclusively trying to do only topic episodes again, because I, for one, just can't handle all this current events nonsense. The amount of psyops floating around, the amount of energy poured into one or two sides of this bullshit left-right paradigm that we've railed against for a long time. We really got sideswiped by this whole political machine in this last 4 years, and I'm over it. I want to get back to where we were and continue on forward, become better than we have been. So anyway, this is just a quick update. Tubbs and myself are supposed to record either tonight or tomorrow. We have a topic picked out. I think you'll all really enjoy it. Hashtag CIA declassification. That's all I can really give you right now. But even despite my current hatred of current events, here I am doing a fucking quick update on current events. Because it's like some sort of weird sadist thing that I enjoy. I think it's sadist. Sadist or masochist. One of you can check me in the comments section or send me an email. bonesandtubs@gmail.com and tell me I'm an idiot. I don't know my words. But anyway, I enjoy the suffering at some point. Maybe telling you that I didn't want to do it as an exclusive thing on the podcast and then needing to do it because of my autistic need to just search news stories all the time. And I guess I met somewhere in the middle ground. Anyway, I pulled up quite a few news articles that I just wanted to read and talk about real quick, and then I'm going to edit this and put it up. So here we go. This goes in with my current interest with President B. President B's in there now, and all of a sudden China's talking crazy and walking hard and throwing rocks. We had very recently after the inauguration, China sent in I would say thousands, quite a few Chinese military to enforce a Hong Kong lockdown due to the need to contain the CV, the virus, that one boy that came out in 2019. Even though all of our current news stories and headlines seem to show that the President B inauguration made it go away, China, with I'm sure no interest in enforcing political lockdowns or making people disappear or controlling an area, they just sent these troops in there to contain the V and make sure everybody was safe. Check out the movie Songbird. They had talked about imposing, this says 48 hours. A story I read the other day was longer than that. Several days or a week worth of a lockdown in order to contain said virus. They were going to be sending troops door to door after getting a operational base in place to test the Hong Kong residents to make sure, just that they knew how far it had spread, in order to protect everyone, I'm sure. So that's great. Let's close this one out. In other China news, we have a news story here from news.trust.org. Taiwan reports second day of incursions by Chinese Air Force. Taipei, January 24th. Reuters. A total of 15 Chinese aircraft, including 12 fighter jets, entered the southwestern corner of Taiwan's air defense identification zone on Sunday, the island's defense ministry said. The second day of incursions by China. A map provided by the ministry shows the Chinese aircraft again flew in between the southern part of Taiwan and the Taiwan-controlled Pratas Islands in the South China Sea. So it just seems like they feel as if they're CCP-controlled puppet that they've installed. And I'm not here to tell you I want one or the other if we go back to inauguration story, because they're both largely puppets. One has a small hat, the other one has a hammer and sickle. I mean, we're all pawns in their game. Here we have another Chinese story out of Reuters. China authorizes Coast Guard to fire on foreign vessels if needed. Beijing, Reuters. China passed a law on Friday that for the first time explicitly allows its Coast Guard to fire on foreign vessels, and a move that could make the contested waters around China more choppy. China has maritime sovereignty disputes with Japan in the East China Sea, and with several Southeast Asian countries in the South China Sea. It has sent its Coast Guard to chase away fishing vessels from other countries, sometimes resulting in the sinking of those vessels. China's top legislative body, the National People's Congress Standing Committee, passed a Coast Guard law on Friday, according to the state media. According to the draft wording of the bill published earlier, the Coast Guard is allowed to use all necessary means, in quotes, to stop or prevent threats from foreign vessels. The bill specifies the circumstances under which different kinds of weapons, handheld, shipborne, or airborne, can be used. The bill allows Coast Guard personnel to demolish the country's structures built on Chinese-claimed reefs and to board and inspect foreign vessels in waters claimed by China. The bill also empowers the Coast Guard to create temporary exclusion zones, in quotes, as needed to stop other vessels and personnel from entering. Responding to concerns, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying said on Friday that the law is in line with international practices. The first articles of the bill explains that the law is needed to safeguard China's sovereignty, security, and maritime rights. This law comes 7 years after China merged several civilian maritime law enforcement agencies to form the Coast Guard Bureau. After the Bureau came under the command of the People's Armed Police in 2018, it became a proper branch of the military forces. So here we have several examples of China flexing, because obviously they're puppet. Now it sits in the White House, and that's fine. I mean, it was going to be somebody's puppet, definitely not the people's puppet, because I feel like we're at a point now where if we could all just admit that we don't need a daddy, that'd be fine. Shout out anarchy. Look up the true meaning, if you don't already know. If you don't know, hopefully now you know. I found this other one. It has nothing to do with China. I think we're moving on from China, at least for now. The Star News. I found it on that cuck Drudge. Found it on his website, drudgereport.com. Satanist sex robots and vampire dolls hailed perfect by AI customers. Earlier this week, a Real Doll rep, who goes by the pseudonym Brick Dollbanger, shared pictures of some of the company's models. In one shot, a lifelike doll called Gale is visible with lip piercings along with a pentagram and skull tattoos. Social media users were captivated by the design, with one responding, "I need a Satanist sex doll since I am one too. She looks perfect to me." In another picture, a, quotes, nightmare model called Kitty poses as a Chucky doll, made famous by the 1980s horror films. One Instagram user said, "I love demon vampire sex dolls, so hot." So here we are. It's 2021. There's no chill. We're making lifelike satanic sex dolls, and I guess that's fine. I just wonder how long it'll be until we breach into the story we talked about last year, or maybe a little bit earlier than that, where they were making child sex dolls. Not sure how far down this rabbit hole goes. This one, another random story from thenewstatesman.com. Harvard's top astronomer says our solar system may be teeming with alien technology. Avi Loeb, don't shit on me for not being able to pronounce his name right, spent his career searching for evidence of alien life. When he found it, the scientific community refused to believe him. If you could fly 2 billion miles in the direction of the Pegasus constellation and knew where to look, you would find a thin, flat object about the size of a football field and up to 10 times more reflective than the average comet. If you watched it for a while, you would notice that it is tumbling as it moves away from the sun, turning end over end roughly every 7 hours. This object passed the Earth in October 2017. As it began its return to interstellar space, the Canadian astronomer Robert Wierck identified it among the images from what was then the world's most powerful camera, the telescope in Hawaii called Pan-STARRS S1. The astronomers in Hawaii called it Oumuamua. I think that's what it's called. A Hawaiian word meaning first scout from a distant place. Oumuamua was the subject of great excitement. It was the first object humans had observed traveling through the solar system from interstellar space. But it also became controversial. Its shape, the way in which it approached us, and the way it moved away are not consistent with the behavior of an asteroid or comet. For 11 days, the world's telescope searched for meaning from this strange visitor. A year later, the debate about Oumuamua intensified when one of the world's foremost astronomers, Avi Loeb, submitted a paper to the astrophysical journal Letters. In it, Loeb and his colleagues, Shmuel Bailey, argued that Oumuamua's strange properties indicated that it was a, quotes, new class of thin interstellar material, either produced naturally through a yet unknown process or of an artificial origin. Since then, Loeb has maintained that the most rational conservative explanation is that Oumuamua was produced by an alien civilization. We will almost certainly never see Oumuamua again because it's heading away from the solar system at 30 kilometers a second. But Loeb says scientists must prepare now for what happens when the next such object arrives, as he believes it will be very soon. If he is right, these objects surround us in numbers that are almost unimaginable. And I'm not going to read the rest of that story, but that just keeps going with the kicking the can down the road of Disclosure or Project Bluebeam. Check it out. Now here's a good story I saw on everybody's favorite news site. I didn't see it on CNN, but it was on Zero Hedge and they linked to it. Titled CNN, President T-Man is a leader of a destructive cult using mind control on Americans. Now they had this mind control, air quotes, mind control expert who was himself a member of a cult. I believe he said the Moonies in the 60s or 70s. So he understands, after being in a mind control cult, how the T-Man's presidency created mind control and created a gigantic cult. And his offer of how to fix the problem, of course, is deprogramming and reprogramming. So, re-education. I'm sure this has nothing to do with re-education camps. You know, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Stelter introduced Stephen Hazan, author of the book titled The Cult of Trump, claiming that many prominent figures have been suggesting recently that Trump's America First movement is cultish. Hassan claimed that Trump supporters are not being encouraged to really explore and look at the details as they arrive at their own conclusion. Much of what they are hearing is emotionally driven, loaded words, thought-stopping, and thought-terminating type cliches. He added, citing air quotes, fake news, air quotes, build the wall, and air quotes, make America great again. Stelter then brought up mind control, asking, you say the president is using mind control, but how is that provable? He says, so we can start with the pathological lying, which is a characteristic and destructive act of cult leaders, Hassan claimed, again without providing any evidence. Anyway, check this article out. It's on Zero Hedge, and he basically, the reason why this one stuck out to me is because obviously it fits that left-right paradigm. They're trying to wipe clean the slate of the past ruler god that we had. But now they're suggesting that we as Americans need to be reprogrammed, re-educated. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to go ahead and say fuck that. Then we have old creepy Uncle Joe. This article is titled Undoing T-Man's Legacy. Biden wastes no time in the first 100 hours as president. He passed like 17 or 19 executive orders. And basically, I don't know what order of cult or what order of secret society was trying to take control of the country during the last 4 years. But I will say this. It didn't involve the old school New World Order. It was a completely different branch. This one had its eyes on a different prize. However, now we're back. We're back in the Bush era. Everything's going along smoothly. Everything should be just fine for the NWO. But it talks about his orders dealing with any number of things. I'm going to go ahead and close that because I just can't do it anymore. And here we have another one. This is on the right wing of the left-right paradigm. The Fox News channel, cult experts to CNN, all of America needs deprogramming after Trump years. So we've got this story floating around everywhere. Here we have Washington Post. Capitol attack will spur broad crackdown on domestic extremists, which is great because we're using dehumanizing terms. Let's just dehumanize everyone. We'll go ahead and just put them in camps, which oddly enough, the last country I remember using camps, if you will, concentration in variety, was Germany. And Germany's talking about opening camps for people who refuse the CV lockdown. But they claim they're not concentration in nature because that would violate social distancing, so that's good. I'm sure everything's just fine. At the same time, the German court declares the lockdowns unconstitutional and, in quotes, catastrophically wrong. So, here we are once again, dueling stories. I don't know. I feel like everything's a psyop now. Shout out to letter Q. Within the first few hours, or maybe a few days of the President B administration, we not only have stories of troops rolling into Syria, but we also have, and also in that with the troops rolling into Syria, we have news reports of deaths and strikes caused by Israel? And at the same time, we also have the Jerusalem Post here saying that it's an anti-President B conspiracy, claiming that we escalated anything in Syria. So we have a great amount of thought wiping and brainwashing going on there. So we're getting back in, like I said earlier, the Bush era, the Clinton era, wars everywhere. Mother Jones, I went there only for the trolls, the trolling aspect, but they claim that we've had a white supremacist coup. History buried it. Of course, they're talking about the 1898 Wilmington insurrection. And I'm sure they're not trying to paint the picture that that's the current day to further dehumanize people who are on 50% of the two-party system. And from here, I wanted to end off with the mainstream talks of the Hunter Biden laptop story. We have here the other part of the left-right paradigm, Fox News. We have the Sean Hannity, and he was walking hard and throwing rocks, talking about, let's see, his quotes. He called it news that hasn't broken before, and he warns that the laptop contents will shock the soul of this nation. Now, if you remember before, we talked about on the podcast prior to some of the claims made. Neither of us have seen these contents, right, of this supposed laptop that was left at an Apple store for a certain period of time and then was unlocked by an employee. Clearly not used. Clearly the outgoing press did not use intelligence agencies to get the contents of this laptop and find out that there was child porn on this thing involving Hunter B and President B. But those are the claims, that there are, in fact, both of those things, along with pictures that were leaked from the, I assume, intelligence community of Hunter B enjoying a crack pipe and then falling asleep and other things. But I'm sure that now it's in the mainstream news, it will be buried, it will be delegitimized, and that's where we'll go from there. So anyway, those are, for now, the only stories I pulled out, and I had to get them out of my head before I had a fucking meltdown. So hopefully everybody liked this episode. Be sure to check out JNY5 Internet Studios on Instagram, jny5.com. Check out Blood of the Brave. Follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/Bonesandtubs Show, Instagram.com/Bonesandtubs, Facebook at Bonesandtubs. We're also on LBRY. We're on BitChute. If you need those links, you can find them in the YouTube description, or you can email us at bonesandtubs@gmail.com. Like I said, this was a quick update, and I will be back probably either tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully you guys stay safe and stay sane. We love you. We really do.
The bad thing about being honest, the straightforward, and doing that is people know where you stand, and they try to take advantage of you. They take advantage of your good nature. They take advantage of the fact that they know that you're a good guy, you are a straight shooter, and that you're not going to retaliate on them when they fuck you. Well, folks, most of the time I believe that's probably true. But God built me to be here to prove to you that what you have been doing for God knows how many years is wrong. You picked on the wrong man. I'm not tough.
You hear that?
I'm not that strong.
Yeah. Yeah. They rolled up in all black, windows half cracked, scoping out the scene before they attack. Had they on bad guys in most people's eyes. Most trust them with their life cause they got a badge and tie. Gifted a position given to them by a system that set it all up to put the kids into prison. This is non-fiction, non-violence, so just listen. They got a mission to imprison your mind and soul. This ain't nothing new, but we survive what we're sold. And don't believe in ourselves, but believe what we're told. And we're all molded by a machine that gets in your dreams. It can get in your gut and kill your self-esteem. And I've been scolded and told who I should be, but I'll never conform. I was born to be free. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. It's a setup, I never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word at the mouth. Giving numbers of birth, yeah, that's a fact. Deny it if you want, but I'll do the math. I face facts and understand how to overstand the plan with my mind intact. And I got more than a plan, I got hope and belief. dreams of faith and know damn well that's what they want to take. It's a weapon. Fear is aggression, and they plant it in our minds to the point we can't find a way out, a way in. And anywhere you go, you'll see how many men over there and everywhere. They're armed and prepared to do whatever it takes. They don't play fair, that's a jump out boys with the plastic toys draped in all black, ready to bring the noise. A setup, and never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word out the mouth. It's a setup, and never let up. From the cradle to the grave, they got you in the cage. It's a setup, so keep your head up, cause they're selling all that doubt with every word out the mouth.